Hello everybody, welcome back to something I haven't done and yes, I'm losing my voice. You guys can't tell, but I might be getting my voice back soon, potentially. But this is a video that I haven't done for 3 years. Um, I haven't done this video since I think Call of Duty Cold War or Vanguard came out. And there's been a lot of zombie maps since then. I've missed 2 whole Black Ops games worth of zombies maps that have been added in. I've played a lot more of them at this point. I went back and I've played a lot of the BO2 DLCs, a lot of the BO1 DLCs, World at War DLCs. I have yet to play Call of the Dead, but I'm still going to rank it on here based on atmosphere and other stuff. Criteria for this list is first of all, and we will do a Wonder Weapon video sometime in the future. I don't know when that will be, on at least the Wonder Weapons I have gotten a chance to use, if not all of them. We might do a Call of Duty campaigns ranked video again. I do not know. I don't know if we'll do that, because it has literally been forever. But somewhere I will go like under the 3 years ago at some point, and I'll link that video to this video on YouTube if you guys want to watch that. I don't expect anybody to tune into this stream. It is 1:50 in the morning. And as of right now, the MW4 beta is out, and it's going to be in the early beta at the moment, but it will be in the late beta soon, so you guys will have about half of a week to play the open beta soon. So I think that starts on the 25th, which I think is tomorrow. Or that's today. So 25th, I think, is when the open beta starts. Anyways, let's get into it. I'm going to play some survival while talking about, and just pausing here and there to rank some maps. We're going to talk about them, each and every one of them, with you guys. I'm going to be ranking the maps. If I have played them, I'm going to rank their Easter egg, obviously. If I played them, I will rank them by Easter egg, by atmosphere, by the weapons that are available on the map, obviously. The gunplay, does the map feel good to play? Also, like, the game the map is in, is it a, like, well-renowned game? Are the systems that are in the game good? And does that make the map better? I'll be ranking them on all of those different things. And most importantly to me, there is really one big thing that matters the most, and that is the map that I am talking about fun to play? Now, whether it's fun to play is going to matter so much more than how challenging it is, the Easter egg, the story behind the map, all of it. Because fun is the most important thing in Call of Duty Zombies, in my mind. We're also not going to be re-ranking the remakes of maps, so I might have done that last time. I will be on this specific ranking, just kind of ranking. We're going to use what I like for the best version of the map, and I will say that across, like, the maps, what I think is the map's best version. I might add touch-ups where I say, like, this map is good on a certain version of the game for a certain reason, or something like that. But without further ado, let's get into this. I don't want to make this a long video. both because I don't think my voice could handle me talking for that long, and because I do need to go to sleep at some point. So, and the reason we're doing this on BO7, this is the only zombies game I have installed right now besides BO1. And I really don't want my game to just keep on making me restart the same map over and over. So, thank you guys, and also I'm just going to be playing BO7 in the background for fun, so just kind of ignore that. We're not going to go for anything on there. It's all going to just be we're ranking, not going for anything else. So I'm not going to be doing Easter eggs or anything, just pure survival and ranking the maps. I will pause here and there to place the maps on the tier list and actually tell you guys where they're located, because I am not going to record the video on my phone of looking at the tier list. Neither do I have like the correct equipment to be showing where I'm placing all this stuff. But I will actually take a picture of the tier list at the end and probably make that the video thumbnail. So I guess we'll just start by playing start with the older maps, I guess. But I suppose Knocked is first. I'd be right to assume that. Yes, World at War Knocked. So, in terms of Nocturne and Totem, bare bones, hardcore zombies. In my mind, Knocked is very fucking good. I'm gonna say my favorite version is still BO3 for this map, because it just has the highest survivability. I remember making it to like round 35 on this map before, and then the game ended up literally crashing because it could not handle it. But yeah, no, it's a great map. And excuse me for not remembering anything about this map I'm playing right now, but yeah, so Knocked is just very bare bones, but also I love it for the fact it's bare bones. That's what makes it so good. Creepy, eerie atmosphere, so much more so on World at War. That is why I still love to go back to the World at War version and install World at War just to play it occasionally, because it has a dark, creepy, eerie atmosphere and is still one of the best horror takes on the zombie genre that I've ever seen. And to this day, I think it is still the scariest map in the entire game. I don't think anything can match it. And for a fact, I don't think there's any other zombies map that is as scary as Nocturne and Totem. But I will not let nostalgia get to me like some people. So yes, I do absolutely love Knocked. I think it's a great map. But nostalgia won't get to me. This map is probably in the B tier, I want to say. Just for atmosphere, honestly. I think atmosphere is what makes this map. It's only got one box location, no pack-a-punch, no perks, and And basically the story of this map is actually that the characters you're playing as are just 4 soldiers that stumble upon a German bunker. And you are literally destined to fight off the hordes until you die. Really good premise of a story, and I think it's a great start to zombies. So yes, I know some people might feel how they feel about it. They might think, oh, what the hell? How can you even like that map? Well, the truth of it all is, yes, it's very basic, and if you weren't into basic games at the time, I can absolutely understand why you would hate this map. Me, myself, I do not hate it. I actually think Noct is just so solid. And we'll just have to see how the rankings pan out, because if the rankings pan out, interestingly enough, this might become a A-tier map, depending on where the rest of these maps sit at. But again, that's just my thoughts on Noctur and Toten. If you guys have something to add, when this video does go live on YouTube, feel free to put it in the comment section. You can absolutely do that. Now, for placing Noct, as I said, this map deserves to at least be in the B tier. I know some people say this map's like a D or an F, and I'm like, I do not agree. That's crazy. That's crazy work right there. Next up is Verrückt. Verrückt, however you say it. The Zombie Asylum is actually what this map's original code name was. And why? Because it's a real asylum in real life in Germany that you can actually go to. I forget the exact name of it, but you guys can search it up on Google and we'll tell you the name of the asylum. And it is a real location you guys can visit. But also with that, it's reportedly a very haunted location in real life, actually. And a very spooky location. But all I have to say about this map is the super sprinters are so goddamn annoying. I never got into this map. I know some people who were like, oh my god, this map is so good, and I never could. I never could be that person that says, oh, I love this map. Yeah, no, that was never me. I know there's some people out there who are like, oh, well, this map's good. I don't believe that. I am not one of those people who likes Verrückt. And I know it seems like I'm being an ass, right? But I just don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. And I don't mean it in a rude way either. I just am not a big fan of Verrückt. So, Verrückt just isn't a map for me. I think, honestly, yes, the atmosphere is absolutely horrific. There's literally areas where you can hear people screaming. There's a furnace. You can actually hear a baby screaming if you interact with it on this map. And there's even a doctor's chair where you can hear a patient getting their arm severed. So it's a scary map, yes, absolutely. If this list was only based on Fear Factor, these first 2 would have literally took the shit out of the water. The next 2 just don't compare for me in Fear Factor. I actually think that Verrückt is the scariest map here, probably, and especially on World at War. So, but I do promise you guys, like, I am not hating on World at War. I love World at War. Such a good game. I do expect this video to be a few hours long compared to some of my other ones, because it has been like 10 more maps added since I did this last. I did this before BO6 came out. But, as far as World at War goes, I think that this map, I just don't enjoy it. Now, if we're going to talk about the BO3 one, I still don't really enjoy it. In terms of favorites, though, now, if something happens in the ratings, this could go up to a B tier map. I really do like the map. So that's not to say I'm not hating on it. I love the map. But, and we're about to move on to our next one in just a second, but Verrucht, you are a good map. I don't want you feeling left out, you know, thinking that I hate you as a map, because I fucking love that map. I really do. It's just, it's not my cup of tea, and you guys, everybody has their own cup of tea, I suppose, in terms of maps, right? But I don't, in terms of Verrucht. That's just not my thing. Verrucht isn't my type of map. So yeah, I'm sorry if I offended anybody early in this video by ranking Verrucht extremely low. It's just I don't have good memories with this map. Every time I go to play it, it's the same old bullshit. I don't really have anything good to say about this map. And I'm sorry about that, because you guys know I absolutely love playing these old school maps. Like in terms of Noct and Shino, which are two of my favorite old school maps to play, and the Giant, which is my favorite of the old school nostalgia trips to play. I need to understand this current one that's out a little bit more, but I think that, yeah, the Giant is definitely one of my favorite nostalgia trips to play in gaming, and we're going to move on to the next map in the World at War cycle, which is Shino Numa. But thank you, Verrucht, for kind of being here and, you know, being a good map in the terms of, like, how it performs, because we absolutely, us as fans, we love Verrucht. I can tell you that. So it's not that any of us feel like Verrucht is, like, this horrible map. It's just, we have bad memories of the map. And it's not like scary memories or anything, it's just like, in terms of maps, Verrucht just isn't a map you want to go and play consistently. Even though, I will say this, it did one thing for zombies, which makes me honestly reconsider. I think I am going to put it in the B tier, and that is because it has perks. Actually, I think I'm going to put it in front of Noct, actually. It has perks. The only thing I think Noct does a little bit better is that Noct is just so much more playable on the newer Call of Duty games. I think that Verrucht is pretty much difficult to play on any of them, but I got to give Verrucht it for the dark atmosphere and the just fear factor that map puts in the player whenever you're on it, whether it be through the interactions with the X or the square button on various objects, or I imagine it's probably the F button on PC or something. But yeah, whether it be the interactions or the just dark mist outside of the asylum, Verrucht is very good in its own way. Next, we move on to our third map of World at War, which is Shino Numa. The Swamp of Death, I believe, is what that means. And I can't say exactly how I feel about this map because I don't really... There's not really a specific way I feel about this map. But... Shi no Numa, particularly for me, has one of my favorite sets of all of the zombie maps because it is in the swamp. And despite the fact that I hate the mud, and if you guys have watched any of my Black Ops 3 gameplays, you will know I hate mud on maps, I hate swamps, I hate maps that have dirt that slows the player down. Like, I hate anything that slows movement down. Believe me, I'm not a fan of that stuff. But, in Shi no Numa's defense, it does have perks. It does play incredibly well on Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 1 both. And it does have an eeriness to it. It is also the story, the beginning of the story of Element 115 and the elemental rock that's on the outside of the map, which is orange, I believe. Later turned to the color blue in Origins. And we'll get to Origins eventually. But in terms of what we're getting, in terms of all this, I am definitely a huge fan of Shi no Numa for what it has done in zombies. The fear factor in this map is excellent, and the map overall plays really excellent. So, I'm a huge fan of Shi no Numa. I do think it probably belongs behind Knocked just because of the fact it will slow you down. There's not a lot of Easter egg stuff to do in this map, so that's why I haven't really talked a lot into Easter eggs. There's not many of them. I believe on Knocked there was like one to shoot all the red barrels or something, and you'd get a song. Or hit the radio in the World at War version, and you get a song. But other than song Easter eggs, there's really not much on these maps. I think there's a dialogue Easter egg between the characters. And this is where I should mention, Shi no Numa is the introduction to our four main characters, Richtofen, Takeo, Dempsey, and Nikolai. And the full introduction to them, as well as a Marine named Peter McCain, who, if you guys want to know more about, go ahead and go watch some zombie lore videos. I may make a zombie lore video one day, but it's going to take a lot of script writing, and I don't know if I'm down for it, but we'll see. Maybe after, like, the zombie storyline is completely finished, I'll do one of those. Anyway, into the next map, which is Doris, aka the Giant. And if you guys are wondering, Shi no Numa is going to go right in front of Knocked, but I still think Verrucht innovated so much more and was just way scarier. And we're almost done with World at War at 30 minutes. Wow. I'm going to put chapters in this video so you guys can skip around all you want. In my mind, I truly do believe Doris is an S tier map. Now, listen, I'm not nostalgia baiting you guys or whatever you want to call it. I believe Doris is an S tier map. Whether it be Doris or the Giant from BO3, I feel like it's an S tier map. And if both of these are on here, well, murder me and flip me sideways, because guess what? I'm going to put them both in S tier if they're both on here. Because they're very similar maps, yes. Like, very, very similar maps. However, what I do have to say is that I really enjoyed Doris compared to the other maps. Also, this is the introduction of Hellhounds and Samantha's dog, Fluffy, which has a very dark story. I'll leave that up to you guys to go watch the Call of Duty lore, to go check that out. I did have a potential lore video with my buddy Ryan that was going to probably come up at some point, where we would discuss how the bear Zursa was created. and whether it was like a mixture of fluffy. We were gonna have like a discussion about that, and I don't know if we ever will. But if we do make that video, stay tuned for that, because that will be absolutely awesome if we ever get a video up on that. That would be super cool to sit down and have a discussion, or even talk about that on a podcast. And just have like an hour or two discussion of what happens to Samantha in the MPD. And really, I think the reason that video never landed is because this map, Ashes of the Damned, just did not have, you know, it didn't have Samantha on it. And a lot of us, I think, were predicting that Samantha would have been on this map due to the bear's design and how much it looks like Fluffy. But if you guys want the story of the bear and Fluffy, Samantha's dog, make sure you guys, you know, like, subscribe. We are losing subscribers apparently at the moment, and followers, but I don't care. I'm gonna keep on going with it. We're gonna keep on doing videos. We're gonna pump up more videos all the way into RE4, and then we're gonna keep on going. I have a giant schedule planned out that I took some time to rehearse kind of what I want to do at this point. So yeah, that whole thing is like planned out for you guys. That's the whole reason I made that. Now, getting into the next map, we head into Black Ops 1. I suppose I should talk about this one a bit. So this next map is Kino der Toten, or Theater of the Damned. Theater of the Dead, Theater of the Damned, I don't know. But notice how it has der Toten in it. Probably means it's Theater of the Dead. Oh, I needed that calling card. That's crazy. Anyway. I just really enjoy that. And I think that right now we're making progress, you know. Having fun, and I'm really enjoying making this video for you guys here. So Kino der Toten, Theater of the Dead, has some really creepy barriers on it. This is another one of those Fear Factor maps. Originally reserved for Call of Duty World at War DLC 5, or Map 5, was supposed to be Kino. See these little jars right here? There would be jars very similar to those, but they would be like gas tanks, and they would have zombies' heads in them on Kino der Toten. Very scary. So yeah, that's just a really scary fact about Kino. Also, if you took the teleporter, you'd have a chance to randomly get put into Samantha's room. And she would have a normal room with a normal teddy bear, and then also one with a teddy bear that has blood on it and red eyes. And this, I think, was supposed to be Teddy, who she references in some of her audio logs and some of her writings. And it's a really scary moment when you first see it, but after playing Kino so much on both modded zombies and regular zombies, I'm kind of used to this stuff. But yeah, you guys will definitely enjoy Kino if you give it a try. Now, what I will say is that I think Kino is a, you know, don't come after me on this, I think it's an A tier map. Kino has so much going for it. But the biggest problem I have with this map is on the newer gen versions of this map, it likes to crash when you get to like round 30. And I think it's just because the zombie spawns are way too rapid and there's too many barricades. But yeah. Kino does, however, have a Easter egg for the song, as well as a story Easter egg, and the first official main Easter egg of any map. It also has a teleporter pack-a-punch, which is the first safe pack-a-punch room in all of Zombies, as the teleporter was not a safe pack-a-punch area on the Reese or the Giant. In fact, it was anything but safe. So, with that, yeah, Kino has like some disturbing noises. And Kino did not introduce any perks that I remember of. However, Kino did introduce one thing to the map, which I believe was the Bowie knife, which we would see in multiple Call of Duties after. Can't remember if this was introduced in BO1 specifically or BO3, but it was on Kino. That's all you need to remember. Kino would also feature the return of the infamous Hellhound rounds. I hear that fucking bear. Fucking pansy ass bear, I hear it. And you guys can see why I would... Yeah, I need to do a little research for that, but... But yeah, with that whole thing, guys, I definitely suggest just, trying out Kino for yourselves, if you haven't, first of all, because BO1 was just so fun, and I feel like some of you guys really haven't played some of those maps. But I feel like if you got the chance, Kino is like a really fun map. I think people highly underestimate this map to this day. Like, Kino is a beautifully good map. So, do I think Kino's S tier? No. I think it is A tier. So, I think the Reese is the first S tier map, and I think Kino is right at the top of A tier, almost in S tier. Let's get to a map that I hate with my entire body and soul because I just wasn't good at the BO1 mechanics. 5. Now, 5 is an interesting one for me because I just kind of sucked at BO1's mechanics. I wasn't very good at them. So, that's why when you guys hear me talk about 5, it's not going to be too positive, really. The Pentagon Thief, first of all, steals your weapons. That is super annoying. Every, like, I want to say it's like every 14 rounds or something. I was never good at this map, so it's not personally just me hating, though. I never liked it, I wasn't good at it, and the only reason I like to play it is because it had, JFK, I think Richard Nixon, and Fidel Castro. And then it had some other person, I keep on forgetting. But it had a all-star celebrity political ensemble cast, which is why a lot of people enjoyed that. For me, I really loved the atmosphere and the war room and how you would activate Pack-Punch and all this fancy stuff that I never really got to do, but it was still really cool to me, and I still will rate it based on how it plays for the average player. If you're new to Zombies, do not play 5 in BO1. It really is a challenge. But also, I'm not saying you can't play it, right? So, do what you want. You know, but 5 in my mind, even with like the unique Pack-a-Punch, I gotta put it in the C tier. I just don't like this map. Even like atmosphere and everything, I don't think this map had an official Easter egg. But I just didn't like playing it. It was never fun for me. I don't know. Maybe somebody else thought this map was fun or something, but when I played it, this map felt like shit. I didn't ever feel like there was anything fun about it. So, go off in the comments if you guys want. If you're a 5 fan, I don't know. Go ahead. Go off if you guys want. I'm not gonna get mad at you, even if you walk in my Twitch stream and literally say something. I would not be mad. Because I know that 5 has a lot of fans, and I just know that I am not one of them. Just know I'm not a 5 fan. If you ever do ask me about a map, hopefully it's not about 5. Because I would probably be extremely upset if anybody was to ask me about that map. But yep, next up is the map Ascension. I actually really like Ascension, so this might be one that gets in the B or the A tier potentially. I don't think it's an S tier for me, but maybe an A tier. Just potentially an A tier. This map is just one of those maps that is so damn fun. So I'm thinking I'll probably throw this map in the A tier with Kino, but we need to talk about the rocket launching sequence. So there is a sequence in this map where you have to basically activate 3 teleporters at any point in the game. These will take you somewhere, and basically you need to go and shoot the rocket after activating all of these teleporters. And the easiest way to shoot the rocket during its liftoff is with a really overpowered weapon like the Ray Gun Mark II, which obliterates this thing. If you don't have the Mark II, I wouldn't even suggest trying to get Pack-a-Punch. I'd just restart the game. But that, of course, is up to the player. Now, do I think Ascension's really fun and extremely fun in modded zombies? Absolutely. I think Ascension is one of the most fun maps in zombies. Your screen does start out with this shade of gray on it. That is not a Easter egg reference or anything. It does actually start out that way. Your screen is gray at the start of the game, and it will change once you turn on the power. Now, my only gripe with this map is there is zombies that can dodge your shots on this map. So you can just be shooting at them and they will dodge you. And that's my only gripe with Ascension. I fucking love the map. I think Pack-a-Punch is a little atrocious to get to. But there is another map in BO1 that's absolutely getting the D or the F tier potentially. And it might get spared from F tier just because of how it looks. But I think Ascension is awesome. Amazing graphics. If I remember, this map also has a moon because you're playing it at nighttime in the background. This was one of the maps before Moon, and it still holds up to this day. I absolutely love it. We're almost done with BO1, guys. It's taken us about an hour to get through both games. So currently I have Darius in S tier, Kino and Ascension in A tier, Varux, Shino Numa, and Noct in B tier, and C tier 5. This next map is going to be an A tier map. Just because I know, first of all, its cast is absolutely an all-star ensemble. It has two of the most interesting wonder weapons in the Scavenger and the VR11. It takes place in, I think somewhere in like Antarctica or somewhere like that. Anyway, it takes place in like the freezing cold, snowy, like in a freezing cold, snowy blizzard, and it is one of the best maps ever. The lighthouse is one of your only sources of light, and it's not a safe haven because it's the first zombies map to introduce a legitimate boss zombie, as you will call them, aka George Romero. That's right, they turned George Romero into a boss zombie. And I think it was either he died a while after this in real life, or this was like a tribute to George Romero. Either way, this is one of the coolest maps ever because it starts out with them acting as if they're like doing a movie, and it starts out with them doing a scene about like killing the zombies, and then they actually do the scene. On top of that, Merle, aka Michael Rooker, is also in this map. And I believe there's some other people in this map. I haven't really looked up the cast fully, but I know that there's some really interesting people in this map. So I think Call of the Dead, the atmosphere, it just looks like such a lively and lovely map. So I think that just pushes Call of the Dead right into the A tier. Do I think it's better than Ascension and Kino? No. Do I think it belongs in the A tier? Absolutely. So as you can see, BO1's been pretty successful with most of its maps. I've in fact put 3 of them in the A tier thus far, and only 1 in the C tier. Well, this next map is about to get a lot of hate. Actually, these next 2 are probably going to get a lot of hate from me, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate back from you guys in the comments probably. Because what you're going to say is, why are you hating on Shangri-La? Why are you hating on Moon? 2 of the best maps in the fan base's opinion. And I'll tell you guys why. This is my opinion, first of all. And second of all, I don't like these maps. So first of all, let's start with Shangri-La. The wonder weapon, the Baby Maker, aka the gun that shrinks all the zombies down so you can run them over with your feet, I genuinely despise. Every time I've got this thing in Black Ops 3, it has absolutely let me down. Granted, I haven't played the original version of this map, and I don't really ever intend to go back and play the BO1 version of this map. I don't even own it on BO1, but I don't want to play it on there. It doesn't sound fun to me. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but I did say I was ranking these based on fun, and this map has a few boss zombies that really irk me. Particularly the Shrieker, which blinds you a bit. But the one that really annoys me, and is the cause of most of my downs on this map, on BO3, is the Napalm Zombie. This guy literally is just a skeleton, a stick skeleton with fire on him, and he will light up whatever area you're in. If you are anywhere near him, you'll know you're near him because your screen will turn a reddish orange color, and look like there's flames on the side of it. The side of your screen will look like you have flames on it, and it's because, why? There's a napalm zombie right around the corner. Which corner, you do not know. This guy is the cause of most of my deaths on Shang, and I genuinely hate his guts. What's more so is you have to hit 4 tiles in the correct direction to activate the Pack-a-Punch. They don't list this direction anywhere on the map. You have to actually figure it out yourself. And I don't think there's a general consensus. On top of that, the good thing is if you are playing in a co-op game, you can just have people stand on these tiles in coordination and it will work pretty easily. This map has a crazy ass Easter egg. I never did get to play it myself. And you know, if you guys do get to play the Easter egg on here, I wish you the best of luck. This is not one I got to play. I heard it's very hard, but also very, very fun. Did I mention that Shangri-La, there's 2 boss zombies I forgot to mention between Ascension and Shangri-La, and that is monkeys. That's right. There is little space cosmonaut monkeys on Astronaut. God, on Ascension. So on Ascension, they will go up and they'll steal your perks. A little bit different on Shang. On Shang, they can run away and change the power-up that's on the ground. So if you have a max ammo on the ground, they can flip it to a carpenter and ruin your day. Yeah. They're very annoying. Watch out for them. But also, I should note to you guys that on all of these maps, I just have a general consensus of not liking these maps usually. To just tell you guys, I do not like most of these maps. That's just kind of the way it is, though. And these 2 in particular really, really irk me. Shang just has a really annoying Pack-a-Punch, a really annoying wonder weapon, and really annoying spawns, in my opinion. So despite how beautiful it is, because it supposedly takes place on Mars, is what they say, is apparently part of the map is Mars that you're in. And it looks like an Egypt map, to be honest. But yeah, apparently you're in the middle of the forest, and it's a really cool map. I just don't think it vibes with me, which is why it's going into F tier, and I don't think Moon will share its fate, to be honest. So, in terms of Moon, Moon has so many different equipment items: the PED, the Hacker, the Pack-a-Punch and Spawn, No Man's Land and Spawn. You can only get Jug or Speed Cola once in Spawn, and then you have to go back around the map and get it again, because the machine swaps to the other perk every single time. I think it will always be Jug the first time, but after that it will swap from Jug to Speed Cola, Jug to Speed Cola, Jug to Speed Cola, and you have to keep on TPing and going back. There's a helmet system. This map has too many systems for me to like it. Which is the very reason that a map that should be really good, in my opinion, is a D ranking map. You guys can get really mad at me if you want. I just don't like Moon. Unless I got a buddy who knows the Easter egg, this map just isn't fun for me. And don't worry, I have made a change that I actually feel Moon should be in the C ranking based on its atmosphere and how much I like its atmosphere and some of the functions. It's possible to play this on BO3 somewhat. Oh, also, there's a Gobblegum on BO3 that makes this really fun, where it gives you a new weapon every like 15 seconds and makes it so you can stack up a shit ton of points and pack at the start of the game, which is really awesome. And with all those features, I've decided to knock Moon up to C, especially because the Easter egg that Moon has and the ending it has are absolutely beautiful. In fact, you know what, guys? I'm going to hard push Moon up to B. We're going to put Moon in front of Shino Numa. I can't put it in front of Rukt because Rukt is the ultimate fear factor, but I did move it from F or from D to B tier, which is essentially very good. I've probably ranked it higher in the past. Now, Transit is a map from Black Ops 2 Zombies. It is, in fact, the predecessor of the map that I am playing at the moment. The current map I'm playing right now is, well, the full map is called Ashes of the Damned. And that is the second coming of Transit. Thus, you see those little critters on the ground are so much more annoying in the original Transit. They are called denizens, and they're fucking annoying and nuisances. So, I like playing farm survival, but there is just some of these maps are really annoying. But I will tell you guys this. You know, I just do not like Transit at all. This is what I would call the worst map in Zombies history. That's right, I said I don't like Shang, but I don't like Transit even more. In fact, I feel like Transit is a immediate F tier. Now, some people will have you fooled in 2026 saying Transit is fucking awesome. But listen, we have the BO7 maps on here, so Ashes will definitely be higher than Transit because I actually do like that map. However, Transit is the bottom of the shit list. Unless there's another one I see on here that's just absolutely horrendous, Transit is the one that is at the lowest point for me. Now we're going to swap maps real quick because I am just genuinely, first of all, having way too much fun here. And also, I want to try out some different weapons. So the next map that I'm going to talk about is called Bus Depot. Now I was trying to figure out if it would include all these BO2 maps on here, guys, and it did. So the next map is called Bus Depot. This is a simplified version of Transit, where the map is solely a bus depot, as it says. And the interesting thing about Bus Depot is you only have a mystery box. No perks, folks. No perks, no perma perks, just a mystery box. No denizens flying on your face like on Transit. In terms of maps, where do I think this stands? I want to say this is a D tier map in my mind. In fact, it is behind 5. I don't think that Bus Depot is a complete F tier map. It's a challenge map. What I think is, though, I think a lot of these other survivals are going to beat out Bus Depot big time. Bus Depot has nothing going for it. That's why I have to say on this list, Bus Depot is genuinely... Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll put Bus Depot right at the beginning of the F tier. If this map just had a couple more things going for it, even like a interesting box weapon, I might put it above all the rest of this. I think it's a little bit better than Shang because at least it doesn't require elite scientific knowledge to be able to play it or a Easter egg video, but it is still not a map that I find myself enjoying. Next up, we have a map called Farm. I think Farm earned its rightful place in the top of the D tier, potentially. But let me just look at the rest of these maps. Yep, the rest of the survival maps are pretty good. There's two more, and I think they both beat out this next map. So I do think that Farm is better than Bus Depot, so I think it's right at the end of the D tier behind 5. Now the difference here is it doesn't require elite ball knowledge to be able to play Farm. Again, it is a cut and dry, quite simple map. I do like the aura of this map, and we'll talk about this map more in depth later. And I might make reviews for all these Waw-Bo7 maps as we go, but right now I'm focusing on the Modern Warfare 4 beta and the content that you guys want to see more than anything else, right? So where we're going from here is we're going to check out the map Town. This map has lava on it, which is the biggest op. Even the pack machine is inside some lava, so you do have to jump in it just to get it. There's a lot of perks on this map. I think this map originally was the creator of Tombstone, but you cannot use Tombstone on the Town map, I do not believe. Some people actually thought that Banana Colada would have been a perk on this map because it gets teased, similar to PhD on future maps. I really personally like Town. I feel like Town has a special place in my heart because me and Atlas, I believe, got to like round 30 on it one time, or 35 or something. We were having the time of our lives with ray guns and stuff, and it was awesome. Do I feel like Town is a C tier? Yes. I don't feel like it's a D tier, and I'll tell you guys why. I feel like it's not as bare bones and as limited as Farm. I do actually feel like Town is a C tier map. It really is the middle of the brick plaza, if you know what I'm trying to say, and it's alright. Next is Nuketown. I think this is one of my favorite maps. People will always, I think, shit on every version of Nuketown, but this one that we currently have in BO2 might be my favorite. I really do hate all the nuke sounds, even this map Nuked. I absolutely hate its guts, but the advantage that we have, obviously, is that there is definitely, first of all, in this game, there's a lot of new weapons. But Gremlin's an interesting weapon. Okay, anyway. just through playing, I think Nuketown is just incredibly fun, guys. You know, I think a lot of people will underestimate Nuketown and say, ah, whatever, whatever. But at the end of the day, I can't tell you guys how much I fucking love Nuketown as a map. Okay, like, I don't think people understand quite how much hype Nuketown has as a map, and I feel like the survival map was peak. I would in fact go as far to put it above Noct and even Shinonuma. This map has truly a interesting fear factor to it. It also has an Easter egg reference to Moon in it. I know this is a really weird list, and you guys could kill me later for putting Nuketown so fucking high that it's in B tier, but I truly believe it's the best of the best survival maps in the game. And if I was to do like a survival map list, I think that this would be the one. Now, moving on to what's next on the list is Die Rise. Have you guys ever been afraid of heights? Because I am too. And this map tried to turn our worst fears against us. Because what it tries to do is be vertical and create really high heights for the players to fall from. This often disappointed players because they did not want a map where they could just die so easily like that. And that's kind of what this was. So, the ultimate thing about this map, of all the maps, is Die Rise was verticality, skyscrapers, and a lot of craftable items. It also had a main Easter egg that aligned with Transit and Buried and Origins, which would allow you to choose either Richthofen or Maxis and work with them to either restore the balance of humanity or destroy humanity and the planet forever. Little did we know Richthofen was the good guy in the scheme, and actually Maxis was the bad guy trying to avenge Samantha. Interesting thoughts. Right? Interesting food for thought. But, yep, he was the bad guy. For once, we had him as the bad guy. So Maxis plays the bad guy in this iteration, whereas Richthofen would have played the bad guy in World at War. So they're swapping roles in the game. But where do I have to place Die Rise? Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This map, I think, is worse than Shang. Die Rise and Transit are two of the worst maps in Black Ops 2. And I think these next three are three of the best maps in Black Ops 2, if I'm being honest with you. And one of them I absolutely love to play with Atlas, because we love playing that map. And that is Buried. But before I get to that, I believe Mob of the Dead is first. Now, Mob of the Dead took place at Alcatraz Prison with a new crew. And what we would be doing over at Alcatraz Prison is helping this crew form a escape plan. They are 4 mobsters who got locked up. And this is a real life story if you guys feel like searching up the lore. I don't have all the information at the moment, but I may make a Mob of the Dead lore video if you guys are interested in that. Depends. I might even play Blood of the Dead while I make the video. Who knows? Who knows what these next few years have in store for us, right? But who knows? Maybe I'll start giving you guys lore on each map as I play it. But for now, let's just talk about Mob of the Dead. First of all, this map had a Thompson locked into it as a weapon you could use. I forgot to mention some of the wonder weapons on the recent maps. The Ray Gun Mark III, or the Wave Gun, was on Moon. Nuketown had the Mark II. Of course, all the survivals either had Mark I, Mark II. Die Rise had the Sliquifier, which could send enemies for a slippery ride. And Mob of the Dead actually has the Acid Gat and the Blunder Gat, unique to the map, as well as the Hell's Retriever Tomahawk special weapon, and the Golden Spork melee weapon. And some of the previous Black Ops 2 maps also had the Galvan Knuckles melee weapon, which was across most of those maps. And we wouldn't see that return until, I think, Black Ops 4. So, I also forgot to mention a special enemy on Transit because I hated the map so much, I just completely forgot to even say it. But one of these special enemies on Transit is actually Avogadro, who's a guy, when you go open up the power, that's made completely of electricity and will attack you. So there is that. And I forgot to mention a lot of those wonder weapons, though. But there's also an afterlife system on Mob of the Dead that makes it exceptionally good, allowing you to kind of go into afterlife mode, where you will die and be turned into a spirit. Now, you have a certain amount of time to revive your character, but you also have time to do some other stuff whilst getting ready to revive your character. So reviving your character doesn't take long in afterlife mode. It basically serves as the map's quick revive, while the map has no quick revive. So the only quick revive method you have is afterlife. I believe you get one free afterlife when you start the game. And then you can get those you can get another one by using afterlife, I think, at a later point in the Easter egg. I don't know exactly how it refills, but I know that it does pertain to certain parts of the Easter egg, as I do remember playing them. Or playing the different parts. Mob of the Dead is a very convoluted Easter egg, but ultimately it is the weasel who tries to escape on a plane out of Alcatraz, and he fails. Plane breaks down on the Golden Gate Bridge in the middle of what I believe might be the 4th of July, because everybody's lighting off fireworks. So there's fireworks being lit off in the background of the Golden Gate Bridge. I always thought this was such a beautiful scene. I went into this map to try to figure out what is underneath the map. And actually, if you just go around, it's literally just, you can see the prison from underneath the map. You can't see a spawn box, but what you can do is you can go outside the map and literally just see that they just pasted a JPEG of the background of the sky and the fireworks. If you go under the map, it actually doesn't look like that. It's just plain. And I did make a video where I went through all of the maps in Black Ops 2, all the main maps, and saw what they were hiding under the maps and above the maps and in the scenery that we did not see, and where I explored every map. It's like an hour-long video. It's really good, really in-depth, and it's the secrets of what is in every map. There's nothing super scary in that. Just the fact that there was a day and night cycle for transit that was hidden. But you know about that if you've watched the Zombies Icebergs. Now let's stop straying too far off topic. Mob of the Dead has a lot of interesting weapons. It's also the only map to ever have the Death Machine on it, and I believe it also has the AK-47. Now, this map teases PhD being outside the map because it is unreachable and you cannot get to it. However, it first introduced Electric Cherry, which is a perk that allows you to electrify your enemies near you when you reload. I should also mention that another perk that got introduced was Tombstone. I think I tried to talk about it a little. And with Tombstone, you just have to revive yourself or go pick up a Tombstone. Now, another perk that got introduced was actually in Die Rise. I again forgot to talk about this one, but this is Who's Who, where it allows you to go over and go hastily revive your teammates. Or not your teammates, but yourself with just a pistol and no perks. And you can keep all your stuff, I think, if you do successfully do it. But again, you just have the 1911. So I think Mob of the Dead is honestly an S tier map. I know a lot of people will talk shit about it or whatever, say, "Oh, but the Easter egg's hard." I know, dude. I know. I didn't even get to do the Easter egg legit because that's how hard it was. I did not understand it. So I have like a 30 round game or something on there where I did do the Easter egg and I do have the achievement, but it was modded because I could not do that Easter egg legit, and I am ashamed of that to this day, but it is what it is. So far we only have 2 S tier maps, which one for each game at the moment. That's Derice and Mob of the Dead. We are gonna have another Black Ops 2 one in a minute, but I do need to go get a drink of water real quick, guys, so I can keep my voice going. Give it just a second. Let's rush through some of these guys. I'm going to do my best to kind of speed through some of these. Next one I can get done before saving and quitting and going back in. It's Buried. Now, Buried is it's a underground mining town that was buried, as you can guess it, and a lot of its history is buried underneath. So Buried is a very fun map. You guys don't really know what your taste in maps is yet. Give Buried a try. It's fun and hardcore at the same time. And best of all, I don't even think it has any special zombies unless you want to count the witches that are inside the house. Yes, if you're scared of witches walking around in black dresses with pale faces, you probably should not be playing this map. But to be 100% fair with you guys, the map plays really well. And I absolutely love Buried. It has a special place in my heart. It also has the basically has a time warping mechanic with a certain one of the wonder weapons, which isn't really a wonder weapon so much as it is part of the Easter egg and a necessary item to be able to do certain things on the map, including complete certain achievements. So, where do I think Buried belongs? I think Buried is an A-tier map. Now, kill me all you want, but I really think this next one is actually better. I think Buried is at the top of the A tier in front of Kino, though. I think it barely misses S tier. Which is really sad because I absolutely love Buried and some of the weapons on it, including the Remington revolver that's available on this map. And just like, there's so much stuff on Buried. Forgot to mention like the paralyzer weapon that allows you to basically fly in the goddamn sky. Like, there is so much fun to be had on this map. People are always giving it kind of shit, but Buried is so fun. So, after Buried, I believe Origins is next, and Origins had the 4 elemental staffs. It is potentially known as the greatest map of all time. I will acknowledge it today, guys. Normally, in the past, I've acknowledged just how much I hate the map and just how much I want to personally keep that map low in the rankings because I just don't like it. Just how much I hate Origins. I have made that known in the past very often, even to some of my friends, saying I hate it because the Easter egg is so convoluted and the staffs are so difficult to get, but maybe that's what makes it so good. Me, myself, I've only gotten 2 of the staffs ever in my lifetime, which is the Fire Staff, which I've gotten legitimately on BO3, and then the, is it the Lightning Staff, I believe? Which I have gotten modded on BO2. So, I don't have much experience to really say how good which one is, you know, and what the best staffs are, which is why my Wonder Weapon video, it was kind of weird how it's going to work, but we'll just ignore that. I do think it's all going to work out because, genuinely, I do actually love making these videos for you guys. And let's get back to this. So, getting back to work, obviously, Origins has a lot of stuff you gotta build, like the Maxis drone, the zombie shield, which is making a return for like the first time in forever. Actually, it was just on Mob of the Dead, what am I talking about? But, yeah, that was another thing about Mob of the Dead. There's a lot of buildable stuff, and you have to build the plane on Mob 3 times. But back to Origins, you have to build a Maxis drone. There's a bunch of robots around this map that can step on you. This map is so beautiful. I believe it's in France. I believe it's in the battlefields of Paris, not Paris, France. Where is it? The Norway. It's somewhere in France. The battlefields. It's the original introduction of our new characters, or a new version of our characters, aka Takeo, Nikolai, Dempsey, and Rick Toffin. And it's a crazy cutscene because it is narrated at the start by Samantha motherfucking Maxis, which is crazy. So I do absolutely love the intro cutscene to this. It's played. The song in the background of this intro cutscene is Shepherd of Fire by Avenged Sevenfold, which is fucking awesome. They have one of the coolest COD songs of all time. I will always remember first hearing about them because of this song. And I actually think this song is the reason I heard about Evanescence too, the first time. I forget which song it is. Bring Me to Life, I believe. This is how I first heard of that song as well. So, Origins is responsible for a lot of stuff for me in my life. And for some people, they might not care two fucks about Origins, but I think Origins is actually pretty cool in the lore of zombies. As for a map that I've played, I still hate the fucking entire map. I hate it on BO3 more so than I do on BO2, but I still hate it. I've had a few good moments on this map as I've played. So that's kind of my story with that. I had a couple good moments across time with that map.
Even Fox respects greatness of Nikolai. Come on, Fox. Nikolai cannot stand suspense. I barely stand up. Nikolai cannot wage war against Elvis. Disappoint me and get it over with, Fox.
But yeah, as for Origins, I think it is a top tier map, guys. Sorry for not like responding for a minute there. Origins is definitely top tier. I've yet to really meet somebody who disagrees with that statement. But yeah, I do believe Origins is an S tier map if we're ranking it on how people actually think of this map. Since I imagine some people probably think that I just think this map Origins is garbage. No, it's not that. I just have a difficult time understanding the gameplay loop and understanding the map as a whole. It is nothing having to do with me hating the map. Trust me, though. Trust me, though, if I did, well, you guys would know. But I don't hate Origins. Not completely. It is still playable. And in fact, dare I say that I would actually put it in probably the top 3 here, unless I see something that's better. Next, we go into Advanced Warfare. You guys know how I feel about these maps. I made separate videos for all 4 of these maps and kind of my personal opinions on them. You guys know I have like very mixed bag of opinions on the Advanced Warfare maps.
Tastes like bird took big shit in back his machine. Even machine sounds like it is out of breath.
So, for this first map, it's the introduction to Advanced Warfare Exo Zombies. If you guys want to hear me talk about this in further detail, please watch the Advanced Warfare videos. Trust me, I'm not going to go into complete detail on every single map. But just know that, in my opinion, Outbreak is the best of these maps. Outbreak and Descent, I believe, which are the first and last map, are the best. And the 2 in the middle kind of suck ass. So, getting to the first one, Outbreak is a beautiful map. The only problem I have with this map is that, first of all, amazing starting room. So much room to train. I love it. It feels like a better version of the Nuketown starting room on, Paradox. It honestly feels way better. Less crowded with vehicles and objects. More room to move and do stuff. And the exo combat makes this very interesting. Now, the zombies can jump higher in this mode, and in fact, some of them can even disable your exosuit. That kind of triggers me a bit, but as far as the regular stuff goes, I absolutely do love playing some exo zombies here and there. Every year or so, just to get another like bang into it and try it out. I'm not big on the Easter eggs. I have never done them myself, and that's mainly because I'm not no pro at exo zombies like I am with the Black Ops, the newer Black Ops stuff. I'm not nearly as good at exo zombies. So we're gonna move on through these Advanced Warfare maps really quick. I think that Outbreak is subliminally good, but I gotta put it behind Town because I don't think it passes Town. I don't think any Advanced Warfare map should. Infection, though, actually is worse than Transit, in my opinion. I'll talk about it for a second here. Infection is basically just Burger Town on steroids. All the zombies move really fast. There's Juggernaut zombies on this map. So basically, it is just exo zombies on steroids, and Who wants to play a mode that feels like the game mode is on steroids? Exactly. So that's my problem with Exo Zombies as a fucking whole. Is it just feels so bad, so badly done. Which is unfortunate because I really love it as a game mode. So, Infection has a lot of objectives for you to do and stuff, a lot more so than any of the other Exo Zombie maps, and I just hate this one. You know, I made a whole rant about this one, I think like a 40-minute rant or something. Whilst the other ones got pretty good reviews, this map just received the ultimate hate from me, which is going to cause me to put it in the F tier, along with Transit, Die Rise, Shang, and Bus Depot. I also do believe that Carrier is in the F tier. However, I believe Carrier is a spot ahead of Infection due to the fact that this map is just not nearly as annoying. It doesn't really have any Juggernaut zombies. It's just a very difficult map to figure out how to play. The first time you're playing. And it doesn't feel very noob-friendly at all. In fact, this map feels like it strays away from being noob-friendly, which is not something that I like too much. I understand when you want to add a bit of a challenge, but I think that this one is just too much of a challenge, right? Moving on to the next one, Descent. I fucking love this map. This map has the Trident Wonder Weapon. Forget the wonder weapons on the other maps, guys. Otherwise, I would totally talk about them. And by the way, they have laser weapons on some of these maps, which fucking suck. But the Trident wonder weapon's really cool. It shoots these arcs of like, shoots these like Trident arcs of I think lightning, and bounces off walls and stuff, and can kill zombies in like one shot for most rounds. I think that Descent is by far the best Exo Zombies map, and it might even pass Town. Really beautiful map. Do I like the Exo Zombies core systems? Absolutely not. I think that Exo Zombies as a whole needs a fucking redesign, but I can't help but notice that the core systems of Exo Zombies are very fucking beautiful. So, going into that next one, I think that Descent lacks from the core systems of the game, but I do think it is a better map than Town, at least. Shadows of Evil. This, my opinion, has changed a lot in the last 6 years on Shadows of Evil. I'm going to be real with you guys. Back in 2020, I would have told you guys this map fucking sucked. In 2023, I would have said this map fucking sucks. Now, I'm not so sure about that. On modded Black Ops, it's extremely fun. Unmodded, the map still has a little bit of fun to it. You don't really have to play it by the Easter egg if you don't want to. You could just play it as a little challenge to survive. It was great for XP when the game first came out, which is something that I was absolutely in love with, was the ability for me to go get all this XP. And so I absolutely love it for that. And it will forever be this extremely beautiful thing. So I really enjoy Exo Zombies, but let's move on to the next game, which is, as I said, Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Now, if you're somebody like Atlas and you really like old school zombies, you're not going to enjoy this game, zombie mode, much. But Shadows of Evil was really fun for me, particularly when I had people to play it with. Now, playing this regularly, it's not fun. It feels like a fest most of the time. But if you have a group of people to play with, it's pretty fun. And even if you don't, you can still hop on Shadows and just play it to survive. You don't actually have to go for the Easter egg every time. Like, for some reason, I seem to think you need to. So, moving on, you know, Shadows is just so freaking amazing. All these years later, I don't believe Shadows is an S tier map. I'm gonna say that. I don't believe Shadows is an S tier map. You know, roast me in the comments if you want. I think Shadows is maybe a B tier map. Maybe A. You know what, I think Shadows might be an A tier map. I think Shadows is right behind Call of the Dead, I think. I don't think it's an S just yet. I think there would be some more work that needs to be done for it to hit the S rank. But I do think A rank does suit this map extremely well. Especially for how it plays and for how it is. And I think a lot of people just don't believe that I'm being serious about this. This map is beautiful. Like, Shadows of Evil is really beautiful as a map. The cutscene is weird at the start, but it's a really beautiful map. Right? We're gonna go back in, but Shadows of Evil, very beautiful. It's going in the B tier. The Giant is going to go in the same area as Darius. Maybe behind it though, because Darius is so much cooler. Shadows of Evil was an amazing start to the game, right? A lot of people hated it on launch, but it dropped with another map, which was the remaster of Darius, aka the Giant. And this map was awesome. I remember playing so many times. I would hit round 30 and 35, 33, like 34. I would hit around 30 plus almost every time on this map. It was super fun, easy levels back in the day. Back when BO3 first came out, this was like the shit to play. This map was so fun. Right? So I gotta hand it to him. This map has 2 Easter eggs, I think. One allows you to get the Annihilator pistol by doing some stuff. There's still the Samantha power-up Easter egg, I think, is on here. And then also the Easter egg of throwing monkeys into the teleporters to unlock the perk machine, which was just far too simple. The 2 map Easter eggs on here that are meant for the story are done so fucking well that this is the one map in BO3 that I actually have done story-wise and that I will never have to play again for the story. But I think the Giant absolutely belongs up there with Origins and Mob of the Dead and Darius. Absolutely. I think it is just that mighty piece of work that few maps have ever managed to achieve. Next, we move on to what is one of my favorite zombie maps of all time. Der Eisendrache. This map is beautiful. It really sets the scene with its snow everywhere. It really sets the just the tone of the map, because when you're just looking around, first thing you're going to notice on Der Eisendrache is that it's in the snow, which few maps are. But also, you're gonna notice this map just plays so fucking well. It also has a drawback from Origins where you actually have the bows. And you know, you can rake me over the coals for it or whatever, but I am definitely putting this in the S tier because this map is just so good. Now let's talk about the water weapons of the map real quick before I get absolutely demolished by the community. I forgot to mention that Widow's Wine, a perk that's also in this game, but was way better in BO3, because when zombies hit you, it would trap them in a web, so they could not move, was also added in Shadows of Evil, and it was the only perk added in BO3. We don't have to talk about it anymore until BO4, which we won't be talking about much in that game. There's only one perk I want to talk about in BO4, but in BO3, the biggest thing for me was, you know, leveling system was amazing, all that was amazing, and this map was awesome. Now this map has 3 dragon heads you need to go through to get to the power switch, I believe, and in order to get past these dragon heads, it's very similar to Mob of the Dead. You have to feed them zombie souls near them. This is a map I still play solo to this day just to survive for a little bit. Or just see what weapons I can get. It has a tram system that you can activate every few rounds with fuses and stuff. And be able to even get like ray guns, pack-a-punches, or even power-ups through it, I believe. And maybe even like a perkaholic, I think. It has some really cool stuff you can do. So Dries and Drak is one of my favorite maps, and I think it is probably one of my top 2 or 3 BO3 maps. Given how not a lot of them made me too happy, but Dries and Drak is one of those that made me extremely happy. We do get to Infinite Warfare, by the way. I'm going to speed through that section because I fucking utterly hate Infinite Warfare zombies, except for zombies in Spaceland. Also for the fact, I just don't know nearly as many facts about some of these maps, guys. You'll just have to forgive me on the Infinite Warfare section. I'm going to go by it fast and just go by what I remember from the wonder weapons and stuff in that. So next up is us ranking Dries and Drak. I think everything on here, even the castle, like all of it, makes this a S tier map. I think I actually would rank it above Origins, I think. It is super iconic. And I think it's nearly just like tied with Origins with how iconic it is. Guys, moving to the next map here. We have a map that I hate to death. Now, we got 3 more maps in Black Ops 3, and just so you know, about 2 of these maps I do not like. Now, this map I hate with a passion because the power requires water buckets and all sorts of stuff, and it's just a very long Easter egg and difficult thing to understand how to do, especially when you're playing like the first or second time on this map. So that is the reason that I think out of all the maps, some of these are really just poorly designed. Now, what I think about Zetsubo no Shima is I think it has a great wonder weapon, but I've never really been able to use it. I've always had to worry about getting to like round 6 when the Thrasher will come in, that big, hideous infected creature, and he would always just run me over and kill me instantly because I never had anything strong enough to fight him. And that was really always pissing me off because I was like, how am I supposed to kill this fucking thing? I don't know if it was the Thrasher, but it was the fucking tall dude. The spiders, they never bothered me. The spiders were alright to fight. They were never a big issue. in the early game. I think I played this map one time with a friend and they were actually good at it, but I never understood it. I was not good at it. This map, in my opinion, sits right in the fucking garbage can. I think it sits at the top of the F tier maps, I think. This even gives Infinite Warfare's map, so it'll run for their money in terms of how bad they are. This is awful. Gorod Crovey, the map that I infamously got to like round, I want to say 45 on. Thank you to my old friend Mike Games, who helped me with that. This map brings back the Mark III, but there is no wave gun version this time. You cannot merge them into a wave gun this time. So they are just dual pistols, and basically what they will do is one shoots a portal and one shoots like an orb, and you're supposed to use these attacks in tandem to get a high number of kills. This thing wears out pretty quickly. The Easter egg on this map is super fun. Can I just say that much? Easter egg on this map, super fun. Easter egg on it, very fun, enjoyable. I absolutely love doing that. There's just a lot of stuff I really enjoyed about some of these maps as we kind of go through them. And Gorod Crovey is one of those that I really did enjoy. Deep down, I didn't understand it much, but I enjoyed it. There's a lot of cool stuff you can get here, like a special 115 punch or something you can get, I think. It's a melee weapon, which is super interesting.
Soviet potato harvest, but less work. Is possible to be too accurate? Nikolai is about to find out.
But, Gorod Crovey, yes, very good. The atmosphere is very good, and the final boss fight of this map is also very good. Forgot a lot of these Black Ops 3 maps have boss fights in them. I'm actually going to put Gorod Crovey where I think it belongs, which is in the A tier right behind Buried. I feel like it's a really strong map. Great atmosphere, great pack-a-punch idea, and just all of the stuff that it does so fucking well. Next is Revelations, which is a all-time favorite for me, which is why it will probably be going in the S tier. There's so much stuff on Revelations. I know a lot of people don't like this map because of the complexity of the Easter egg, but I don't really care to rank just the Easter egg here. I feel like this map is so fun. It has so many wonder weapons you can get, like the Ragnaroks, the Bothkin Servant from Shadows of Evil, and even the Rift E9 and the Banshee shotgun are all on this map. On top of that, the ray gun, I think the Mark II's on here, the Thunder gun's on here. Like, there is so much stuff for you to work with on here in terms of map. Weapons, I think there's just a lot of weapons to work with. I don't know if there's any regular weapons that are exclusive to this map other than those two that I mentioned, the Banshee and the Rift E9, but it's really cool. Actually, this map might have the Marshals on it. I don't know if it might. I don't know, it might even have some more weapons on it like that, but it's always really fun to go and revisit Revelations. This is why one day I'm going to get this on PC so I can mod on that map on PC, because I fucking love it. This is basically a map that blends parts of Mob of the Dead, Verrückt, Knocked, and just a bunch of classic maps together in a unique way. And it turns all these locations into locations you have to clear out to earn the Pack-a-Punch machine back, and adds a very unique Pack-a-Punch to the game. But also, what this does is really appeases the fan base, because there's so much powerful stuff here. This is what I call a power crept map, but I think they wanted a true send off, and this is where you fight the Shadow Man's final form in the boss fight. The boss fight's really good. Eisendrache had a hard boss fight, but no, this map, in my opinion, is honestly, if I had to rank Revelations, I have to say it's S tier, dude. In front of the Giant, but not in front of Origins. It is still behind Origins. The only map I think from BO3 that beats Origins would have to be the Rise and Draw. Now we are moving on to Infinite Warfare and some of the stupider games. First up is Zombies in Spaceland. I fucking love this map. Guys, Zombies in Spaceland is one of my favorite maps of all time. In terms of Infinite Warfare - Advanced Warfare Zombies. Now, Infinite Warfare brought their zombies back to boots on the ground, and in this installment, Zombies in Spaceland has killer clowns that explode when they get too close to your character and deal damage, which is completely unique. We've never seen that before. And you might be asking, oh, what else does it have? What else does this offer, this unique installment of Zombies offer? Well, what if I told you there's like 5 different wonder weapons you can craft in it as well? Yeah, I said that. There's like 5 different wonder weapons that are craftable. There's so many craftables on the map, you genuinely might lose your mind. On top of that, there's some stuff that you can trade in tickets for. Yes, you can earn tickets by completing mini games and collecting them from zombies and doing trading in souvenir coins as you play. You can earn these tickets, and genuinely they can increase damage on some of your weapons and just have crazy effects for you. And I think you can get like special grenades and stuff, like portal grenades and stuff, like some type of Casimirs via these tickets. So these tickets are really cool. I don't think a lot of people pay attention to the ticket section of the game because it's really stupid, but there's also these cards that basically function as gobblegums to an extent. And how they act as gobblegums is basically basically as these are cards that will grant you bonuses like extra points for headshots and whatnot, like currency boosts for crits, or like triple points for hitting headshots and stuff. Some of these, obviously, you have to earn yourself as you play, and some of these you will just get to be able to use by default. Basically, I forget what this is called. I think it's called Apostoli's Deck or something. It's basically this demonic like card dealer guy who deals different cards for you to be able to do better in combat. So like there's always crazy stuff like being able to refill your ammo with one of these and getting extra cash off from kills and all sorts of crazy stuff. I will have to revisit it and play all those maps at some point. Now we're going to just shout off Infinite Warfare maps because I don't know how good the rest of them are. Now I say Zombies in Spaceland is a B tier map. Which I know sounds fucking crazy, and I'm going to put it right next to Nuketown because I think this is a B tier map. Next is Rave in the Redwoods. I actually heard Rave in the Redwoods has pretty generally good reception. We're going to put it next to Outbreak. Shout and Shuffle. You know, Attack of the Radioactive thing I heard was an F tier. So is Beast from Beyond, apparently. But Shout and Shuffle I heard was alright, so I'm going to throw it in there with Rave in the Redwoods. And we're going to move on. Next is World War II Zombies, one of my favorite installments. These are going to be really hard to rank, guys. But I'm planning on getting done with this video soon, so let's get through World War II. And the rest of these should be really fast to rank because I don't know nearly as much about them. Now keep in mind we will be ranking the survival maps from BO7 as well. Alright, so the next map on the list is the Final Reich. This is basically a German map during the World War. Super fun map actually, it plays really well, which surprises me, but it plays well. Honestly, I gotta hand it to the devs. This is one of the best maps I think they've ever made. It has a really simple Easter egg, and they'll actually guide you through the whole Easter egg if you're playing on standard mode and want help. It will guide you through the Easter egg if you're not trying to do it on hardcore, which also guides you with how to get Pack-a-Punch and through all that different stuff. I think this Easter egg is pretty fun, and I can still do parts of it without actually having to look it up. I can still do most of this Easter egg by myself because it is that easy to, like, remember it. That easy to kind of have a good memory and just remember what to do. But moving on to the Final Reich's really good. Has a Zeppelin boss, and then later on this giant monstrosity boss, which looks really cool. If I had to place it anywhere, I think the Final Reich goes in. I'm gonna place it in the S tier. I know this sounds crazy, but there's only one really good map from this game, and it's the Final Reich, and it strikes on all fronts and does an absolutely amazing job, in my opinion. Next up is a map that I actually like as well, which is Grossenhaus, the survival map. Now, I think that Grossenhaus, don't get me wrong, is an A tier map. It does have a bit of a nuisance of a way to get the mystery box because you have to shoot some lampposts until they're all lit up around the map in order to unlock the box. But Easter egg wise, this is a really fun map. Next, we get to kind of what I hate about this. Thankfully, BO4 is about to come up, but the Darkest Shore is a failure of a map. I hate to put it in the F tier because there's parts of it I enjoy. Even like the Wonder Weapon is pretty fun to use, but which is a saw launcher. that also has a melee attack to rip out zombie spines, and you can see how they use that for an Easter egg. But I just don't like this. I feel like this is a really. I just feel like it's really bad. I don't like it, and the Darkest Shore has too much fog and too much of these crazy zombies that will attack you like insane. I think they're called fog mealers or something. They will attack you like fucking crazy people from the fog, and you will not see them coming. The Shadowed Throne. I think this one's a little bit better. I'm still gonna put it in D tier because I don't think that it beats out some of these other maps. So I am gonna put it in like the bottom of D tier. It does have some cool melee Easter eggs, and I'll readjust some of these afterwards, but it has some cool melee Easter eggs, but the main Easter egg requires opening safes and using radios, and it's very annoying. Although I'm sure the map has a great ending. We move on to the Tortured Path game mode, which is literally these different areas you go to and survive 10 rounds on each one, doing different challenges. This map is an F. The reason this is an F is because it's basically just a survival with challenges, and not that we haven't seen that mode before, but really challenges that will make you fail even if you're not dead. Like, come on. Just because you didn't do the challenge. Of the survival maps, there is the USS Mount Olympus, Altar of Blood, and Bodega Cervantes, which all take place before the final map, which is the Frozen Dawn. I think that Bodega Cervantes is the most boring of these maps, which automatically makes me put it right in front of Carrier. I still think Transit actually beats out this map, believe it or not. Which sounds crazy, but I think Transit beats out these survival maps. I didn't realize they'd be on this list, and that's one of the reasons that they're so low. Next map I have is the USS Mount Olympus. This one's a little bit in front of Bodega Cervantes. And I put this one in front of Die Rise because it does feel like it's more accessible than Die Rise and actually can be fun with 4 players. I decided to put Altar of Blood at the top of the F tier maps. I feel like it does something amazing with the maps. I also think there's like a sword melee weapon on it that's also on the Frozen Dawn, and some interesting melee weapons. I think I saw that there's like a hammer and sickle on here and stuff that you can obtain by doing certain quests, which is really fucking interesting. Um, Next up is the Frozen Dawn. This map is really fucking cool, and you can obtain a sword, I believe, of blood or something at some point, which is really fun. It makes this map really replayable. Now, besides the first two, I decided to put the Frozen Dawn up here in the C tier next to Rave in the Redwoods because I believe that this map is just genuinely so good. And I believe that there's just so much that they're accomplishing here. Moving on to Black Ops 4, we have some disappointments and some really good maps in this one. And I can't wait to kind of show those to you guys because I fucking love Black Ops 4, as you guys know.
Said monkey. See what happens. I make propaganda.
Now, I think Voyage of Despair is one of the worst maps ever. Don't let people know that, but it has some really stupid zombies on it. And I just don't like Voyage of Despair very much, sadly. I know it's sad because I love being able to kind of experiment with this, but Voyage of Despair is one of those maps that I absolutely have no like for. Now, I was able to put Voyage of Despair in the C tier up top because a lot of the shit in the C tier could be good, could be bad. And I mainly just wanted to get Voyage of Despair in the C tier. So I did that. The next map we have is what I believe to be the magnum opus of Black Ops 4. This map is called IX or 9. Now, I believe there's only like 2 or maybe 3 good maps in this game. And this is the pinnacle. This is the only Chaos map that I consider to be good. And I know there would be a lot of people saying, Ancient Evil's good. No. Oh, these other ones are good. No. Ancient Evil is not good. Not as good as IX or 9. 9 is the single most beloved map, I think, by the entire BO4 community. On top of that, there's stunning visuals. You're inside of a coliseum. Did I mention the map previous to this one was on the Titanic? But for the second Chaos map, you're in a coliseum. I believe this map launched with the base game. I believe you got Voyage of Despair, 9, and Blood of the Dead at launch. And everything else was paid for DLCs as the game was progressing. And as they were making more maps. So, these were your 3 free maps, and I think this one is a nail on the head. I don't think Blood of the Dead's bad, don't get me wrong, I really love it. I think this one is amazing. This is coming from someone who hit like round fucking 50 on that map, by the way. So, coming from a player who really enjoyed BO4 Zombies, I gotta put Blood of the Dead up here in the S tier. You guys can disagree and potentially talk with each other to push it down to the A tier, maybe. But I think this is either an A or an S, and I was fighting really hard with myself where to put it. But I realized this is definitely an S tier. Definitely an S tier map. So, what I realized is there's like a lot of potential for this to be good, and BO4 had 2 or 3 really good maps. I'll introduce the next one later on. It had a cringe intro, but it actually was really good. Blood of the Dead reunited the cast under the Mob of the Dead spectacle, but was a little more simple, no more afterlife. And it was just really a fun map. You could even play it as a survival map. It was a little confusing to get around. This is why I wish they had like a attack map for this particular map in general, because it was so hard to figure out where you're going. The base weapons in this game didn't do too well on this map, but if you were able to get a couple buddies and camp on the rooftop next to Pack, you could do some crazy shit together. This is what I believe to be the trifecta of S tier maps in BO4. It's Classified, Blood, and 9. These all released near each other, and they were very good maps. Classified, of course, released as a like $7 bonus map with the game. If you got the deluxe edition, you would also get this map for free if you got the digital deluxe or the deluxe on disc. So this was originally like a $7 DLC or whatever, and it's a really good map. It goes back to 5, but it's my favorite version of 5. Whenever I hear somebody shit talk Classified, I can't help but think maybe that was one of those 5 players that just really enjoyed 5. Because in my mind, that's what I'm thinking. Is that's one of those players that really liked 5, and that's why they don't like Classified. There's no Pentagon Thief. Another thing I forgot to mention is this game added difficulties, so you can play on hardcore if you want, or on like basically rookie mode, or like recruit mode, and it would be super easy or super hard. And understanding the premise, I think you had to hit, I think it was around 150 to complete the Easter egg on this map. You would then be granted a free Winter's Howl, upgraded Winter's Howl. But it was very frustrating. I think there was an ending cutscene to this map, but again, around 150. That's insane. What I consider to be a D tier map is Dead of the Night. It's D for dead. I just don't like this map. A lot of people continuously have told me this map's really good. Every time I played it, I did not like it. I did go and figure out how to actually figure out the wonder weapon and where the code locations are and stuff to put in the wonder weapon codes and get the free wonder weapon in the library, but again, this map's not very fun. I don't think I made it past round 40 on this map. And the boss zombies are ferocious on this map. A map that I believe belongs in the B or C tier. The B tier is Ancient Evil. This map's really fun to play if you know how to play it. It's really confusing at first. And if you don't know how to get the 4 gauntlets that are elemental, it's very difficult to understand. Also forgot to mention 9 has a scorpion gun that electrocutes enemies. And Voyage has a Kraken RPG cannon weapon. Dead in the Night just has a revolver. You thought the Darkest Shore was bad? You thought Transit was bad? You thought most of these maps are bad? No. Meet Alpha Omega. The most confusing Easter egg map in Call of Duty Zombies. On top of that, this map just isn't fun. It's way too repetitive. You're always cleaning out the vents around the map because these Nova crawlers or jumping jacks don't go in there. The Nova crawlers will go in there and stink up the vents, and you have to clean it up in order to pack a punch and shit. And it's genuinely bothersome. You might be about to pack a punch, and then the vents get stunk up, and you have to go fix them. Now, there is 4 elemental ray guns on this map, but I can never figure out how to craft them. Next is the ending to Black Ops 4, which ended like shit. I guess I could put this in the top, the F tier. It's just awful. Togner Totem was supposed to be a remaster of Call of the Dead. And for those who actually paid money for this, including myself, I feel so bad for all of us because this map was horrible. It had the Tundra gun, which was like a snowy version of the Thunder gun. It had a Wonder Waff that had a scope on top of it. It also had a secret section of the map that required doing part of the Easter egg to access. So for me, I mostly treat this as a survival map to do the daily challenge of surviving alone. Which means every game you played on this map, you would miss 1 perk. There's only 2 Cold War maps, I believe, that are capable of S tier map ranking. Hear me out. The Machine. This gun has the Die Shockwave weapon, which is really cool. It shoots out like an energy. It can suck up zombies. Really cool weapon. And it has recharge automatically. So no max ammos. Cold War Zombies ditched the Gobguns, but added some other systems which did not like scavenging and whatnot and all that. Players did not like that. But I think if there's any 2 S tier maps, it has to be the first 2 that released in Cold. Now this next map I would put above everything besides anything that is IX and above. Firebase Z is the most accessible Cold War map to date. Particularly because you can play this from either 1 to 4 players and get to around 30 plus easy. It's not time consuming or anything. There's strategies in a couple different areas that you can use to get to these rounds. Top of that, Cold War Zombies system works really well on this map, and there is a boss round on round 30 where you actually have to go fight the big boss Orda. Top of that, this map brought mimics into the fold, including in the Easter egg, which people hate. But I think regularly the mimics are fine. And it added hellhounds back to the game. Deadlier than ever is when they die, they will drop a fire circle like a Molotov, slowly killing you. And then after that, they also added manglers into the game. So if you guys don't know what that is that these guys that are in BO6 and BO7, I believe, or just BO6. But yeah, no, they were manglers, and they had the arm cannon with the Soviet helmet. These guys were added. Speaking of the Pack-a-Punch, it was in the village of all places, which was the starting spawn location, and you had to turn on 3 generators by killing zombies near them. The generators can get shut down by Orda if you lose the boss fight, but that's highly unlikely. Orda has a fair, balanced amount of health depending on what round you're on. I believe round 30 and every 10 rounds after, you will have to fight him. It's a fairly simple boss, and the Reiki Wonder Weapon on this map is absolutely top tier. I'd probably put it in the A tier or S tier on the Wonder Weapon ranking, because I just love it. I wouldn't really call Outbreak a zombies map particularly, but I did throw it in there and put it in the C tier at the bottom because I think that's where it belongs. Here is a map that I hate completely, and in my opinion marked the downfall of Cold War Zombies. It's an Easter egg I've never been able to complete because the boss is stacked with health. Unless you have a crazy fucking loadout or 4 players who are insane, the boss is stacked with shield and health and does tons of damage when hitting you. Map, which is the reason I hate this map, but also the Easter egg is so convoluted to do. It takes like 2 hours. Now next, I have to go put Forsaken in the A tier, but not the S tier. Again, I said if there's 2 maps that can hit the S tier, I think it's Firebase and D Machine. I just don't think some maps are capable of it, and Forsaken falls a little short for having a really easy boss and Easter egg. It feels more like a fetch quest than an Easter egg. It does feature part of Burger Town in it, which is kind of funny because that's more of a Modern Warfare thing. top of that, this is an area you go to in the campaign, and it's restructured. Well, Firebase is completely restructured from multiplayer to zombies, and they did a very good job with it. I just don't like how they did Forsaken. It's not to say I didn't do the Easter egg, though. I love the Easter egg. I did do it, and I have the completionist calling card for it. Now we're going to get into what I consider really garbage maps next, which is Vanguard. Durong Fong had nothing in it. It was horrible. It was just a complete this objective, complete this objective, complete this objective. Yes, no. There was Pack-a-Punch and tiered perks, which worked really weirdly. You could buy the same perk over and over and increase its effectiveness or how good it was. Similar to like a double Pack-a-Punch system, but you could buy the same perk up to 5 times. There was also apparently challenges in this game that I'm unaware of that you could have done on certain maps. The maps just feel really weak and poorly designed. So with the maps just being so badly designed and so ugly to look at, this one was horrible. I believe Durong Fong actually had a lot of locations that were reused from multiplayer, and only one of them was a zombies location, and it was from Black Ops actually. It was Shinonuma Reborn. From what I remember, Terra Maldicta was basically the same shit. I think they just added Easter eggs to these ones, but I believe Terra Maldicta was basically the same one. I don't remember if it had a clear Easter egg. The only map from Vanguard to receive any sympathy from me is the Shinonuma Reborn, because they did do something with it and did bring back the Wonder Waff as well. But do I need to mention that there was zombies that can shoot miniguns at you and bash you with a minigun and kill you easily? Yeah, no. Vanguard was a horrible cycle of zombies, and it just felt like you were playing multiplayer and with zombies in it. I gotta say, of the 3 trash maps, Durong Fong, Terra Maldicta, and the Archon, I think the Archon takes the cake for the best one of those 3. Whilst Shinonuma stays as a D tier map for Reborn because it's meh. But as far as the Archon goes, I beat the boss on that map. The map had an interesting wonder weapon, from what I remember, so the Archon wasn't horrible. It wasn't Terra Maldicta or Durong Fong levels of trash. Now, the next map, in my opinion, is the worst map in COD Zombies history. You cannot change my mind. That is Operation Deadbolt, the map that never changes in Modern Warfare Zombies. I have a 3-hour video on MW Zombies that I will go ahead and link for you guys. If you guys want to hear that, this video will be rewatched by me so I can add chapters to it. I just want you to know, I hate Operation Deadbolt. This map was horrible. I only started having fun when I found people who had super overpowered gear in game and I squatted up. This was the only way I could actually do anything. This map is not fun unless you have friends who are really overpowered or unless you're just trying to go for the stupid camos. This is the first good map in a hot minute. But I really have to say so. I think this map has earned my respect because it's climbing through the ranks. This map is Terminus. This is a BO6 map, one of the 2 launch maps, and it was extremely good. In fact, I don't remember if I've ever ranked this map, but I did beat the Easter egg on it. It was fun, and that final boss fight was scary as hell. Fucking squid, tentacle, octopus monster. Oh my god. I think I gotta say, Terminus is up there. It is one of the best maps of all time. The atmosphere was dark and gloomy. It had an interesting weapon that I remember reviewing a while back. Exclusive to that map, I think it's called the Beam Smasher. That was a interesting weapon. Took me forever to get it, but it was in the box and buildable. One of the most difficult buildable wonder weapons ever. Ray guns were on here. There was actually a possibility to get a ray gun or a beam smasher for free using a certain Easter egg. It was hard to understand the locations and where to go sometimes on this map. But there was actually a god mode out for both of these launch maps when they first came out, which was crazy, and you could god mode run around Terminus. And even though your screen would go red, you would never die, because your health would stay at max. So even during the boss fight, it would look like you're taking damage, but you're not. The next map is called Liberty Falls. I know some people are going to hate on me for it. And by the way, Terminus I just put in the S tier. Some people might hate me for Liberty Falls, but listen, I'm putting it behind Noct, which is like at the end of the B tier. I think this map is a really good map for not only camo grinding, but introducing newer players to BO6 zombies. I think this map is tremendous for that. It does a lot of work to introduce people to that. It brought back the Abominations, which I fucking hate their guts, but you know, it also brought back the Manglers, which are actually kind of fun to fight. I forgot to mention the Amalgams from Terminus, which are some freaky, like, multi-armed creatures. So there's that. Terminus also, the Pack-Punch machine is like, moves up and down the map. And there's just a lot of Easter eggs between both these maps. I think they said Terminus has the most Easter eggs since Shadows. Side and all. Both these maps had crazy number of Easter eggs. I remember Liberty Falls had one where you could throw a Simtex or some type of grenade at this zombie head on top of the church, and it would give you a bunch of stuff for free. You can also destroy 3 black and gold cars for a free weapon, potentially a ray gun. There was a bank where you could insert the key. You knew how to put in the code. This map has a lot of memories that still stick with me to this day. You can go camping in the bowling alley on directed mode. There used to be a god mode that was like pretty much unstoppable. However, it was much harder to do on this than it was on Terminus. So Liberty Falls is going to stick with me for a while. It's not the best map ever. It's not Moon, it's not Forsaken, it's not Firebase, but it is a fun map. And there's also bowling Easter eggs with Mr. Peaks dancing when you win, which is so fucking funny. This map was awesome. Next, we get to Citadel des Morts. If there is another map I could throw in the S tier for BO6, it's this map. This map is perfection on a pedestal. Citadel des Morts had 4 elemental swords. I believe it was the Raven Sword, the Lion Sword, the Stag Sword. Then there was one more, the Dragon Sword. And all of these swords were super cool. They had different elements. Lion Sword obviously healed. The Stag Sword, I think it did Shadow Rift ability. Obviously the Raven just did what it would, you know. Raven energy, attacks. And the Dragon Sword did fire. This was super fun. The boss was really fun. He was actually like a barbarian with a hammer. I think a hammer, and he would just stomp around and destroy the ground and throw meteors out of the sky and shit. And I would always get pissed off in this boss fight. But when we beat it, I was so happy. And I think I was also very happy to get the early Easter egg completion for all 3 of the first 3 maps in this game. That's why you see them going ranking so high, but I have to be honest about Liberty Falls. I just don't think it deserves an S tier. It is a good map, though. This next one is a horrendously bad remake. It's supposed to be a remake of what the Origins dig site was after Origins, and basically got hit by like a sandstorm or something. And you're supposed to uncover secrets and stuff, shoot some lamps, some crystals, do some stuff. And apparently you could get a staff. I think it was the wind staff that you could get. Or was it the ice staff? It was one of the 2. And there was only 1 staff in the game this time. No complicated quest to build it, no robots to step on your head, no max distro. It was boring. And the final boss was ridiculous because it was an amulet that could literally laser one-tap you over and over and ruin your day. Now with the right squad, the right equipment, this boss was possible. But piss you off. This is when I stopped going for the early Easter eggs and I gave up on them. Next in my mind is another B tier map. It is Shattered Veil. Now, this map had Samantha inside a robot. Basically, a Samantha AI. This was the story. It started at Liberty Falls. It was supposed to have an interesting ending. It just ended up being kind of stupid. I never did a video on why I hate Shattered Veil and why I like Shattered Veil, but it would be a long video. This map, The Reckoning, I don't think it's an F tier map, but I definitely think it's a D tier map. It had some horrible animations, like being able to parachute through certain parts of the map, taking doors straight out of Warzone, and desks and furniture that was used in Warzone, and putting it in zombies. There was too many portals on this map. It felt like Forsaken, but worse. And I just didn't like it. You know, a lot of people, they had their things that they said they liked it. I crafted the Wonder Weapon by myself. Somehow figured out how to do it. Oh, I took some research or something, I don't know. But there's that. I just didn't like The Reckoning. In fact, I'm probably going to put it in the F tier. So I decided to put it in F tier behind Shang, because somehow I think Shangri-La might be better. I've only got so many maps left to discuss. And next is the Bo7 launch map, Ashes of the Damned. This map is the biggest zombies map I have ever seen. It's bigger than Origins, and had so many Easter eggs. You'd love to see a big one like Terminus and Ashes of the Damned. You could definitely compare these two. I think Ashes of the Damned canonically is probably my ideal map in this game. Now, going through the different maps, I think this has to be the S tier map for this game, because it is just so peak. Now, for most games I pick 2 or 3 maps. I don't know if there is 2 or 3 maps to pick here. Astra Malorum might just get included because it was such a hard map, had such a difficult Easter egg, and Oscar was such a bitch to fight all the time. That navigating the map felt like a true challenge, and I felt like I was playing a difficult game of zombies again. So I made the difficult choice of putting Astra Malorum up in S tier because of how playable it is. So there's not a lot of S tier maps for me, but Astra is definitely the one that stuck with me because of just how interesting it is in its own way. It's got Oscar the robot. It's got the Ligma or the LGM 1, which shoots 3 shots at a time, which you have to use for the boss. It had a lot of glitches at first. Oscar has a really cool kill animation if you die to him. can turn zombies into super sprinters. This was a hard map, but I loved it. Like, I don't know about you guys. I loved the map. It was fun. It was a challenge. And I'm so glad to have gotten the early Easter egg completion on that map because the calling card looks fucking glorious. I'll show it to you guys. Look at that thing. Oh my god. As for survival maps, in terms of BO7, there's a couple that hit S tier for me. First one is Exit 115. I really enjoyed this one. It has a truck on it, it has the ability to bounce on the walls, it has so much mobility. It's really fun and really challenging to play sometimes, and I think I've even hit round 50 on that map. That is how fun it is. In fact, let me go check for you guys right now to see if I've actually hit round 50 on that. Yep. I haven't hit round 50 on many maps, but that is one of them. Van Noren Farm, in my opinion, is an A map. I think that it's too tight, clustered without much of a camping spot because it's so rounded and everything jumps over fences to attack you. I think this farm map is just kind of meh. It's better than the BO2 one, I'll say that. You guys should tell I'm not a nostalgia fanboy, but I think that this Exit 115 is a S tier and Farm is an A tier at the bottom of the A. I think Zarya Cosmodrome is an area that is in the C tier just because it's not playable enough. It's just too tight. It's really hard to complete round 50, and the fucking Xerxa bears are relentless. Unless you somehow have like a necrofluid gauntlet, a ray gun, and everybody's got ray guns. Like, the map feels so difficult. Now we're getting to a map that I thought would be really fun, and just turned out to be a pile of puke. Ashwood disgusts me. This survival map is very annoying. This one right here. You do get some really cool stuff for completing survival, but it is so hard to get to round 50 without getting a fucking headache in this game. Which is why I will not be playing Ashwood. It is just kind of trash. That is to say though, guys, I do love Ashwood as like a concept. I think it's really cool. It kind of reminds me of Buried if it's solely a survival map and not an Easter egg map. I I just don't like Ashwood because there's areas where you can literally die from fall damage and lose all your perks. And worse yet, teammates won't even see you and you'll bleed out. And also, Ashwood is a real pain to play solo. Now, you have a map I would arguably say is worse than Ashwood at the end of the D tier, which is Mars. Mars is just a frantically annoying map. Yeah, it's hanging there. I'm almost done. So Mars had Oliver. What the hell? Where'd you come from, dork? Mars has the excessively annoying guys that shoot the shock stuff at you. God, I keep on forgetting their name. Uberklaus. Basically the big juggernauts with the shoulder pads you have to shoot. And then you have to shoot the robotic so far. And they can be really annoying in groups. So when you start getting 2 or 3 of them spawning in, yeah. Which is why I never got round 50 on Mars. Paradox Junction hits the F tier for me. It has a wonderful weapon as the Wonder Weapon, and a interesting Easter egg for the most part, which is really a big fetch quest with some stuff here and there. The mini games are excessively annoying a bit because they're really hard to understand how to do them at first, especially if you're doing it solo or your teammates have quit on you. There's certain parts of the Easter egg that were frustrating, like the RC car jump, where you have to boost jump. The like shooting the toys around and stuff while staying alive. Filling all the soul boxes, doing the little music keys. Like it was very frustrating, especially with the clock step if you don't understand how the clock is working. Can be really hard. We are almost done, guys. We're almost there. Which actually, you guys wouldn't believe it, but I think the nuked map as a whole actually belongs in the B tier. The survival map of Nuketown actually feels a lot better. Survival on Nuketown is just really fun to do and play, and there's just so much to do on it. So I love doing that. As for some of this other stuff, it may not be so hard. The Nuketown survival actually is probably the funnest survival in this game, aside from maybe the lighthouse and exit 115. Next up, we need to talk about Totenreich. This feels like another Call of the Dead remake, or another Tog der Toten remake, and I'm very pissed off about it. Totenreich feels like they're trying to copy a lot of ideas from both of those maps. They like to freeze the player during the special zombie rounds, which is just frozen zombies that have like ice storms that they drop when they die. And this map's just too fucking big, I'm sorry. top of that, the special zombie enemy they introduce is tanky as fuck. I usually have to pull out the 1911 with PhD Flopper and take care of his ass, or the MP40 out of the box, aka the Dreadful Dresden. Like, he is genuinely annoying. So we are almost done. I think we have like 3 more to go. So we have the Eidskalen Lighthouse. This is the only other S tier survival map I see. I want to hope that when they release a Takeo, like, when they release his map as a starting room or something, that it will be better. I will release an independent review for that, so you guys where that stacks up. But for now, you know, we're almost done. Totenreich is just too big, but the lighthouse is alright. There's good camping spots in the lighthouse, and you're capable of doing some pretty cool stuff inside that lighthouse. Now we only have, what, 2 more maps to go? Alright, the Kawakuja map looks amazing. I'm just judging purely off from atmosphere for now. I might change the ranking later on if I notice that this map is just purely stupid or something. Then I might change the ranking later on, but it looks to be fun so far. My friend has told me they'll probably never do that Easter egg again, but it was okay. And I'm gonna guess by that that map probably isn't that bad. I can't wait for them to release a survival of it, hopefully at the end of the game cycle, and Rex and Furnace, hopefully, because I will definitely play both of them. But if I have to say, I think this Takeo map is probably an S tier map. Just for the fact that it has that Takeo stuff. Now we will play this, so this is absolutely interchangeable. Just know that. And Rex and Furnace, from what I played, was like an F tier. Actually, I take that back. It had some interesting stuff in it, but it's on the cusp of being right next to Paradox Junction in terms of how fun it is, because I don't like it. And that's just because Furnace has a lot of cool gameplay aspects, but you can't understand it. It's a giant puzzle. I don't like Rex and Furnace for that reason. I love you guys, and I'll see you around. It has been 3 hours of non-stop chatting about different zombie maps and icebergs and whatnot, and maybe I'll make another video where I review like all of the weapons from certain games and COD Zombies. Maybe we'll do that. But for now, I want to thank you guys for tuning in and doing your due diligence to watch these videos. I love making these COD lore dissections and whatever you want to call it type videos for you guys, where I go through the lore of a video game and I try to understand it more. Love doing that, and for Call of Duty, it feels like I have to do it on a yearly basis pretty much. I might come out with some more lore videos, who knows, guys. So just wait on your hands, who knows. Might be some lore videos. Who knows? I got a tight schedule. I have posted it up on my YouTube community tab, so go check that out. Subscribe to my YouTube. We are losing subscribers right now, despite my consistent videos going up at the moment. I love you guys. I'll see you around. I'm gonna make some thumbnails tomorrow for some of my vids, including this one. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, because the next few days are gonna be me uploading shit for you guys. Almost every day that I can, I'll try to get a video up. Until like what, the 30th or 31st, when I'm gonna start Resident Evil 4 back up. So yeah, I have a whole list of games I want to go through with you guys. There's the potential of maybe finishing some GTAs in there too, but we will see. I have a lot of stuff I want to do with you guys. And, a lot of videos to get out. Love you guys. Peace out. Anarchy out. It's been a long video, and I will chapter this video for you guys like I did with the Sons of Anarchy 2-parters, where I chaptered it with every episode. I will do that with this video, and I'm thinking of going back and chaptering some of my older videos, like these Wonder Weapon reviews and stuff, like these Call of Duty videos. I'm thinking of adding chapters to them and kind of systematically laying out like what I want to talk about. I'm thinking of doing that, or either just writing down more of a educated script. Anyways, peace out. You guys are awesome. Subscribe. Thank you guys very much. You guys are amazing. I love you all. You amazing humans. Good night.